guys have noticed on the smart board, what do you see up there? It's an airplane that says the Harbor School on it. Can you believe it?
Oh, it's a 747.
I'm going to remind you that I know it's exciting, but you need to raise your hand because, especially when we're on airplanes, there's lots of safety rules we have to follow, right? And one of those rules is listening to directions of the captain. Guess who's the captain?
The flight attendants.
Okay, so the first thing you do when you get on an airplane is you find your seat, right? So, who's been on an airplane before? Okay, good. Okay, good. So, what I'd like to happen is I'm going to call the names of kids who look ready to board the Harbor School jet. And they are going to walk down the middle of the aisle and choose a seat and sit, but not touch anything. Just sit, okay? All right, and you can choose any seat you like. I'm going to start calling names. Are you ready? Peter, would you like to go first? What's your question? Hold on, Peter.
Can I, who's the co-pilot?
We don't have a co-pilot this time. Maybe next time.
Why can't Ivy? Why can't Ivy?
What you said, what if we touch the air?
You may sit in the chair, but don't pick anything up with your hands, okay? All right, Peter, I'd like you to demonstrate how you walk down the aisle. Everyone watch Peter. Choose a seat and sit without picking anything up. Excellent. Okay, Lena, go ahead. Max, go ahead. So, Taria, Colin, Jasmine. Oh, and passengers need to be quiet while everyone boards the plane. Callum, Elsa, Grace, Miles, Aiden, Darius, Elena, Levi, Talia, Jacob, Alana, Rosa, and Jeff. Now, passengers.
That's like just got my passport. Oh, wait.
Has everyone found their seat?
Yes.
All right, welcome aboard Harbor School Airlines. The first thing you need to do before we take off is buckle your seatbelt. Can everyone buckle their seatbelt? Buckle your seatbelt. All right. Now remember, the number one thing on an airplane is to listen to directions for safety, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you directions. Every time I want you to do something, you're going to have a job to do on this trip. We are taking a trip all around
The world.
the world. Now, we've already learned a couple things about the world, right? Who can raise their hand? What's this line that goes through the middle of the earth? Miles.
The equator.
Excellent. The equator goes through the middle of the earth. How about this line that goes north to south through the middle of the earth? Peter?
Meridian.
Prime meridian, right? And that divides the earth into the four hemispheres, right? The northern, the southern, west, and east. Okay, now we learned a couple other things. Who can name the 5 oceans for us that we learned? Rosa.
Atlantic, South, North, Indian, Arctic, and Pacific.
Right, Atlantic, the Southern Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean, right? 5 oceans.
Oh.
But on our travels today, we're going to discover the names of the continents and some information about them. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are your seatbelts buckled?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what it sounds like when our seatbelts lifting off.
Well then, if you're sure
Okay,
you're
if
ready,
we start it at the right time, then they'll do the sound, and it would sound like this.
we better lift off. And we're traveling to our first destination.
That's definitely the sound of an airplane. That's definitely a 757.
Oh, and so we made it to stop number 1, but we need to figure out where we are. Here's what I'd like you to do. Reach on underneath the chair in front of you and pick up your passport, just your passport. The chair in front of you.
Oh, in front. Hey, wait,
Hold on, everyone freeze. Put everything back where you found it. Put everything back where you found it. On an airplane, when you store your things, do you put it under your chair or under the seat in front of you? Under the seat in front of you. So this time, listen really carefully. Reach underneath the seat in front of you and pick up just your passport. Jasmine, the seat in front of you. Does everyone have their passport? Hold it up.
And so, who's driving the plane?
Well, we're stopped. We're at stop number 1. So, I need a volunteer to help me read the clues about stop number 1 because we don't know where we are. Darius, can you read nice and loud?
I am in the southern hemisphere. I am the smallest continent in land area. I am also the smallest continent in population.
Okay, please right there for a moment. What I'd like you to do while Darius finishes reading is look through your passport and see if you can find the page of the continent that you think matches the clues. Darius, can you keep reading?
I am the only continent that is also a country. I am known as the island continent. I am known to study animals. I am home to the Great Barrier Reef and
Okay, so Darius did a great job reading our clues, but I heard a lot of passengers talking in the background, and I don't remember giving you the direction to be talking. Just looking through your passport, okay? If you think you know which continent we're on, hold up your passport and show me. If you think you know which one we're on. All right. If you have, Max, can you stand up and turn around?
Australia.
If you have Australia, give yourself a thumbs up. Everyone, turn to Australia. And I'm going to give you a new direction. Are you ready?
Can we call it? No.
Oh, Max looks ready, and Elena looks ready. Okay. You know when have anyone traveled to another country?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you have. And you need to bring your passport, right? What do they do to your passport when you get to that country, Levi? They stamp it, right? Do you see that little blank stamp there?
Yes.
You need to pick up your pen and draw for 10 seconds a stamp for Australia. It can have one of the animals on it. It can have the Great Barrier Reef on it. Something that signifies Australia, and I'll give you from backwards count of 10. Fill in your stamp, just like we did. 10, 9. You can just do a design. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Put your pens down, please. You have traveled to Australia. Australia is the biggest or smallest continent?
Smallest. And the only one that's a country.
And it's the only one that's a whole country all by itself.
Wait, no, isn't there all those islands? Like,
Australia is actually an island.
So on our world map, we can see, where did we start? We started in North America, right? Right about there.
yeah.
And we got on the plane, and we traveled all the way to Australia.
That must have took like 8 hours.
No more than 8 hours. 2 days.
Excuse me, passengers, I need to give you a reminder about raising your hands and taking turns. Now, Talia's right. There are some other islands that are part of Australia.
Those
But
are continents.
all the other continents have a lot of countries in them, and Australia is just the island continent by itself. Okay, we're ready to continue on our journey.
What about Antarctica?
Well, we made it. We're in Australia, right? So you need to stow your belongings before we take off under the seat in front of you. Everything down.
I thought we were going to go exploring.
Buckle your seatbelts. Buckle those seatbelts up.
I thought we were going to go
Anyone's ears popping?
I thought we were going to go exploring and see things.
Oh, and now we're at stop number 2. Who can in a nice loud voice read out stop number 2 for me? Nice and loud. Miles.
I am in the northern hemisphere. The prime meridian runs through one of my countries. I'm a small continent in land area, but I have a large population. I'm made up of over 40 countries. 40 people on this continent speak many different languages. The Atlantic Ocean is my west. Another continent is to my east.
Thank you, Miles. Okay, pick up your passports without talking. And when you think you've found the continent, hold it up so I can see. When you think you've found it, hold it up. Remember, this continent is in the northern hemisphere, so think of the north of the map. The prime meridian runs through it. That's a good clue.
Yes, I do
There's
know.
lots of different languages.
I knew it. I know it.
All right. Are you ready? Jasmine, can you stand up and turn around so everyone can see what you have? Okay, so you have another 10 seconds to stamp your passport for Europe. Ready?
Oh, the towel.
10,
I'm not ready yet.
9,
No, not the one in Lisa.
8, 7,
I don't know. I'm just making a design. I'm just making a design too.
the Mona Lisa count. 4,
No, that's in France.
that's part of Europe. 3,
Oh, then what's this? Actually, no, I'm trying to color it in the circle.
1, everything back under your seat. Oh, I love the way that Soteria is following the captain's directions. Oh, and so is Alana. Okay. Now, that was a pretty long journey too, because we went from Australia, which is all the way down here in the southern hemisphere, right?
All the way back.
All the way back over the equator to Europe. Now, remember in the clues, it said the Atlantic Ocean is to my west and another continent is to my east? This is kind of a tricky continent division. Do you guys remember when you were trying to divide up the oceans and it was tricky to draw the boundary lines? Similar between Europe and this next mystery continent.
I know what it is.
But we can draw an approximate line, like approximately right there that separates them. So Europe's really pretty small, right? How does it compare to Australia, the size? Is it bigger, smaller, about the same? All right, are you ready for our next trip? Okay, buckle your seatbelts. Okay, here we go. We're leaving Europe. And we've landed at a new continent. Who would like to read this one nice and loud? Lena?
I am the only continent that is in
All four.
in all four hemispheres. The prime meridian and the equator both go through me. There is a large desert in my northern section. I am known to the longest river. I definitely know this.
Okay, pause, Lena, pause. Without talking, while Lena's finishing reading, you can take out your passports. Go ahead, Lena. Hold on. Second graders, pause. Without talking, please, so Lena can finish reading, because these are important facts that you need to
People on this continent speak over 1,000 different languages. The Atlantic Ocean is to my west. The Indian Ocean is to my east. I am home to many wild animals like lions, elephants, and rhinoceroses.
Wow, so this is the only continent that's in all 4 hemispheres. It has the equator and the prime meridian running through it. It has deserts, it has really cool animals. Grace, can you show your passport to everyone? So no, you have 10 seconds to stamp your passport for Africa. Ready? 10, 9, you can do an animal, 8, 7, 6,
I'm doing a cheetah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready? All right, everything's stowed away under the seat in front of you. Okay, now on that trip, we really didn't go very far on the map. Because where is Africa? What number is on Africa?
That was only like a 5-hour journey.
So we just went from 2 down to 3. But look, I want to show you because this is really an interesting fact. The equator runs through Africa, yes. The prime meridian also runs through Africa. There's no other country in the world where that happens.
So you mean at one point in there, there's kind of like a plus with a cross between them?
You know what? Actually, let's see. Where they cross is right here in the ocean. But both lines continue through Africa, right? Now, how about Africa? How does Africa's size compare to Australia and Europe? Bigger, much bigger, right? Much, much bigger. But you know what?
Asia.
Doesn't have the biggest population. What does population mean? Colin?
How many people there are in that?
Exactly. So the continent might be really big, but there might not still be a lot of people there. Okay. Are your seatbelts buckled?
No, my stomach's gonna pop.
Let me see. I want to see those seatbelts buckled. Okay. Everything's stored under the seat in front of you? We're taking off again. Oh, stop number 4. Let's see. Elena, nice and loud.
I am the largest continent in land area and population. I am home to Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. I am also home to the Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth. The world's 2 largest cities, Shanghai and Mumbai, are located on me. I am the only continent that shares borders with 2 other continents.
Take out your passport.
I know it.
Listen again. The largest continent in the land area, which means size of the continent, and population.
I know it.
Oh, passengers, please stay seated while we're on the flight. Just hold up your books. All right, can everyone look back to Jacob? Jacob, you may stand up.
My country.
So you have 10 seconds to stamp your Asia passport. Ready? 10, 9, you might want to do something about it being the biggest. 8,
Pandas, because it's China's.
7, you can do pandas. 6, you can do a lot of people.
I didn't
It has the biggest population. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everything back under the feet in front of you, please. Now, on this leg of our journey, we traveled from, what was this continent again? that's a big border, right? They're kind of smushed together. But Asia and Africa, it's connected. Interesting fact.
Not every continent is connected.
Right.
What's
Exactly.
that?
Unlike, so that's different than the whats, which are all connected. Mina?
What is the Arctic Circle?
We'll talk about that in a minute. But what is all connected, Elena?
Oceans.
The oceans, right? But the bodies of land are not all connected above water. Okay, buckle up. We're nearing the end of our journey. Whoops. You ready to take off?
Yes.
Are your ears getting blocked up a lot? Mom, just take off.
My hand gets a lot motion sick. My stomach's hurting.
You get motion sick a lot.
My stomach's hurting.
Stop number 5. Who wants to read? Jacob, come on up. Everyone pick up your passports, but remember silently. So
I know what it does.
Oh, hold on, Jacob. Passengers, you ready? Okay, go ahead.
I am the southernmost continent. I am the only. Okay. I am the only continent with no countries or permanent residents. I am home to about 90% of the world's ice. Even through the climate is harsh.
Hold on, Jacob. Passengers?
Some animals, like penguins and seals, have adapted to live there. Even through I am covered in ice. My climate is considered a desert. Desert.
Thank you.
Yummy.
Hold it up if you
Yes,
have
it
it.
is, Elsa.
Oh. All right, so Taria, what do you have? Okay, you have 10 seconds to stamp your Antarctica passport. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. When you're done, it goes back under the seat in front of you. 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the map, it says the bottom line is
Okay, are you ready to see where you go on the map?
Yes.
All right. Passengers, you're looking like you're ready. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So we are in Asia. And Miles, what number is Antarctica on the map?
5. But 5 isn't in. But that's not.
Antarctica, remember in the clue said it was the southernmost continent. You know what's in Antarctica is the South Pole. So the South Pole is down here. But does anyone live in Antarctica?
Santa.
No, nobody lives full time in Antarctica. The people that go to Antarctica are scientists who go there to study. So there are people who live there for part of the year, but not for the whole year.
Scientists has
Hold on. I think we need one more reminder that we need to raise our hands. I'm glad you guys know so much, but we have to take turns. So, Taria? Okay, Miles, did you have something?
The scientist has a little research stations all around.
You're right. Exactly. All right, can you buckle those seatbelts? Yeah. We have 2 more stops.
I don't think Antarctica has airports. I know it already.
Hey, it's been on this.
All right. Okay, continent number 6. Pick up those passports. Are you ready to go?
I know it. I know.
Go ahead, Rosa.
I am located in the southern hemisphere.
I know
The equator
it.
runs through my most northern tip. I'm home to Amazon River, the second longest river in the world. Part of me is rainforest, which is home to many unique and endangered species. Brazil is the largest and most popular country on this continent.
Okay, so southern hemisphere, rainforest, Amazon River. And we should only have a couple left in your book, so your choices should be getting narrowed down.
Wait, am I done?
Can everyone turn around and look at Talia? What do you All right, 10 seconds to stamp your passport. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Please give us more time, like a minute.
5, 4, 3,
It only takes 1 second to stamp on a real plane.
1, and everything under the seat in front of you. All right, friends, how many continents are there altogether? 7. How many more stops do we have?
1. That's finally home.
Buckle up those seatbelts one last time. Okay, here we go. I hope you're all buckled up. Okay, I'll read the last clue. You guys have, I know you know, but you have to wait. I'm in the northern hemisphere. I'm the 3rd largest continent in land area. I am the 4th largest continent in population. I am primarily made up of 3 large countries. I am home to Greenland, the largest island on Earth. The longest river on this continent is the Mississippi River. And I am the continent that we call home. What continent am I, Rosa? Okay. Take 10 seconds to stamp your passport for North America. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Gorillas don't live here.
5, 4, I think.
Do a house. Someone do a house. I did.
1. Everything under your seats and get ready for your final instructions.
I did a house. Do we get airline food now?
No.
Starving.
That's exactly what I did without a...
1. I know it's been a long journey. You guys have been patient. You've done wonderful stamping. You've been a great passenger crew. As the captain, I want to thank you for taking this ride with me around the world. Before you leave, we have one more job to do. Because, on our map, we're still on Antarctica. But where did we go after Antarctica? Elsa?
South America.
The map is confused.
Well, first we went to South America, right?
America, then North America.
And then North America. So, before I let you off the flight, I want you to take a really close look at this map. Because something that's really important when we're learning about the continents is thinking about where they are on the map and about how big or small they are. Do you remember Miss Mitchell taught us last week how much of the earth is water and how much of the earth is land? Who remembers? So, Taria?
70% of the earth is water and 30% is land.
Yeah, 70% is water and 30% is land. So we've looked at the map and we've seen these big areas of water. But now we also need to think about how much space the continents take up on that map. And we can see that they take up a good amount of space, right? They're all different sizes, but they're still only take up 30%. That's why you see so much blue on the map. So what you're going to do in a couple minutes is you and a partner are going to make a collage map of the world. But you're going to do it in a kind of different way. Because with collages, we don't always cut out perfect shapes and make everything exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? But you and your partner are going to get a blue piece of paper, which what do you think the blue represents?
Water.
Then you're going to get 7 different colors.
That's a flight plan.
One color for each of the 7 continents, right? There are 7 continents, so you'll get 7 colors, but you're not going to cut out the exact shape of Asia or the exact shape of Australia. You're going to rip the paper into the approximate, which means just about, shape of that country, right? Now what I want you and your partner to be thinking about and looking on our map or on the maps on your clipboards is, well, should Australia be really huge and Asia be really small?
No.
No, right? Should Australia be like over here on the map or up in the northern hemisphere, miles, or right on the equator? Should Australia be up here? No, probably not. So I want you to use your visual and spatial thinking to think about how big each continent should be, where on the map the continent should go, and you and your partner are going to be using your collage skills that we've done a lot to rip out the shapes of the continents. Does anyone have any questions? Lena.
If we want to do the exact same thing, well, could we just draw it first and then rip around it?
Good question, Lena, but today we're just ripping. Now, could you rip, does it have to be all in one piece? No, as long as, all of Asia is the same color, if you needed to rip more than one piece, you could do that. Elsa.
Can we do it like one person?
We're going to do it in pairs. You're going to have a partner to work with.
This part.
Anyone else have a hand raised for a question? Miles.
Miss Parker, do you want me to shut off the plane because I'm hearing the controller is really angry at you because he wants you to shut off the plane.
Oh, is that the case? Well, we have been on a long trip, so we should probably shut down the plane.
Should I do
So I'll
that
shut it
too?
down.
I can do it.
And you know how when you get off of an airplane, a real airplane, you don't just all get up at the same time and walk out the side. You have to walk down the aisle, right? And the last people go first. So I want to thank everyone for coming on this trip around the world with me. I would like Jack and Jacob to start, and when I say go, you'll stand up and walk back to the world rug, and we'll get partners and get started on our project. Okay?
What about me?
So Jack and Jacob and Talia can go ahead. Take your passports and your clipboards with you. The next row can go down the middle aisle.
Can I get my skull ready?
The next row can go down the middle aisle.
Alana, or you Grace?
The next row can go down the aisle.